Now, 5 a.m. on WKYT this morning, police have named a suspect in connection to a weekend shooting that left a man critically injured. We'll have more on who that person is that police are looking for just ahead.
Boxing legend Muhammad Ali is in the hospital. Why the Kentucky native's condition may be more serious than originally thought. That story is coming up.
And police have arrested 2 teenagers in connection with a bank robbery. More on that case on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good Friday morning to you. It's finally here, Friday. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
And it's so good to have you with us on WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant. We have some fog out there this morning, and you'll notice that the first thing when you pull out, particularly thick around the Clays Ferry Bridge and some other areas this morning. Let's check in. Meteorologist Micah Harris is keeping track. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, that patchy fog outside is what we're going to be dealing with as you walk out the door early this morning. Now, there's only a couple of advisories going on, and that's back towards Shelby County, and then work your way into Franklin and Henry, and then the counties that actually are right there in line with the I-71 corridor. Other than that, it's patchy fog across the region. So just watch out for some of these spots. It's very dense as you're traveling this morning. Temperatures are there in the 60s. Pretty good feel once again, and we get into your afternoon. We'll be looking at a chance of a few rumbles of thunder. Most of this is going to be south, and I mean far south. So actually most of us will stay dry, which is good for some of us, because some of us had a little damage yesterday for some of those rumbles of thunder. And look, the storms did cause some damage in parts of central Kentucky. I'll take a look at what we found here in Bourbon County neighborhood. And one family told us they even had some damage to their home.
Our roof on our deck blew over our house into the front yard, and it left a dent in my mom's van.
That was a pretty strong storm, and that actually came through about 5:30, 6 o'clock yesterday in Bourbon County. And then those went through, passed on through, and now that front's trying to sag south, guys. We're going to be showing you exactly where I expect the storms today. And also that wet weekend forecast is coming up in a few minutes.
All right, a lot of things to keep our eyes on, and we'll do it, and we thank you.
Lexington police have named a suspect in a connection to a shooting that left a man critically injured.
The shooting happened early Sunday morning in the parking lot of the Saddle Ridge Bar on South Broadway, and now police say they have obtained an arrest warrant for 30-year-old Leslie Parson. WKYT's Mike Byer has more on the arrest warrant that's out. Mike, good morning.
That's right, Bill. Lexington police say Parson is wanted for the shooting that happened last Sunday right here outside of Saddle Ridge Bar on South Broadway. Now the police department has received warrants for Parson. The 30-year-old is wanted on charges of assault and possession by a handgun of a convicted felon. This after last Sunday, shortly after 2:30 a.m., when police found a 21-year-old man lying on the ground suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. The man was taken to UK Hospital in critical condition. Now we spoke with Jennifer Bryant, who is close friends with the victim. She says the young man, who she tells us is Skylar Ray, was trying to break up a fight when he was shot. Bryant tells us Ray is a very hard-working young man and has a heart of gold. She says although Ray received critical injuries, that he is recovering. She tells us her daughter is helping Ray heal by reading to him every day. Now anyone with information on Parson's whereabouts is urged to contact Lexington police. Meanwhile, Bryant has set up a fundraising site to help with Ray's medical expenses. You'll find a link to that site on WKYT.com. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thank you, Mike. Now, Lexington police tell us they've arrested 2 teenagers in connection to a bank robbery. Police say the Central Bank on Versailles Road was robbed at gunpoint just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And last night, they charged a 16-year-old with that robbery. Police say they also charged 18-year-old Audrey Bennett with evidence tampering in connection to the robbery. He's also charged with wanton endangerment for an unrelated shots fired incident on Appian Way over the weekend.
We have learned that the man who police say shot a Madison County Sheriff's deputy had a lengthy criminal history. Police say Daniel Pigg shot Deputy Kevin Crutcher Wednesday afternoon following a traffic stop on Arthur Jackson Road near Berea. They say the deputy returned fire, killing Pigg. Deputy Crutcher was treated and released from UK Hospital. Court records show Pigg was convicted on drug and theft charges over the last few years and was out on probation at the time of the shooting. Investigators say the deputy was shot in his left side of his abdomen.
He's doing well. I spoke with him this morning. He's sore naturally, and go through different emotions when I spoke with him.
Deputy Crutcher is currently on administrative leave from the sheriff's office. That is standard procedure after an officer-involved shooting. New this morning, the Laurel County coroner has released the name of the man who disappeared after his canoe capsized in the Rockcastle River. He says the 70-year-old man is identified as Leroy Stevens from Pulaski County. Stevens' body was found yesterday afternoon. The coroner says the cause of death is accidental drowning.
We now know more about why boxing legend and Kentucky native Muhammad Ali is in the hospital.
We're finding out Ali's condition may be more serious than originally thought. Our Mark Barber is at our live desk with more on that. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. A couple people who are familiar with Muhammad Ali's condition say his family is concerned because he's battling respiratory issues that are complicated by Parkinson's disease. The boxing legend and Kentucky native is in a hospital in the Phoenix area. Ali has been hospitalized several times over the past few years. Last year, he was diagnosed with pneumonia, but that turned out to be a severe urinary tract infection. The 74-year-old, who was once the most recognized sports figure in the world, is now hospitalized with what are said to be more serious health problems than he has faced before. Word of Ali's hospitalization spread quickly, and it did not take long for fans like boxer Sugar Ray Leonard to send their support. Yesterday, the Olympic gold medalist tweeted, "Prayers and blessing to my idol, my friend, and without question, the greatest of all time." At this time, a spokesman for Ali is only saying that he is in fair condition and that his stay in the hospital is expected to be short. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. Presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump has picked up a key endorsement. In a newspaper column published yesterday, House Speaker Paul Ryan said he will be voting for Trump. It's the first public backing Ryan has given him. Also yesterday, Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton said at a rally that electing Trump president would be a, quote, historic mistake.
We have new information about the crash of a Navy Blue Angels fighter jet in Tennessee. The jet went down yesterday afternoon in Smyrna, not far from Nashville. The military says the pilot, Marine Captain Jeff Cuss, was killed in the crash. Investigators say no one on the ground was injured, and the Navy says the pilot was beginning to take off during an afternoon practice session when the crash happened.
We currently have the crash scene sealed off, pending an investigation by the United States military and the FAA.
The Blue Angels were practicing because they were scheduled to perform at an air show in that area this weekend. Investigators say they're not sure why the jet crashed.
A university is now reaching out to students of a Central Kentucky college that will soon be closing. We first told you last night at 11, St. Catherine College in Washington County is planning to shut down next month. College leaders blame a decline in enrollment sparked by a decrease in student aid. Morehead State University now says it will waive its $30 application fee for St. Catherine students who want to apply for admission there, as well as scholarships. Governor Matt Bevin has announced that Kentucky State Parks will soon be receiving millions of dollars in extra funding. It's part of the new Refreshing the Finest campaign. The General Assembly approved giving the park system an extra $18 million in state money. That money will be used to improve safety at parks and to pay for structural repairs like painting and some other upgrades. The campaign will be carried out over the next few years.
And we've seen the parks slowly deteriorate, and now we're swinging back. So it's very gratifying. It's a lot of fun. It's an exciting time to be in state government.
State leaders say Kentucky state parks account for nearly $900 million in tourism spending every year. Once the envy of the nation, that state park system, so we need to spruce it up, and it sounds like the
it's so many beautiful parks. You know, it'd be great once they do.
Great sights. All right, WKYT this morning, just getting started on your Friday. We're glad you're with us this morning.
A moose drew a pretty large crowd at a Lowe's in Alaska. Find out why bystanders watched the moose for hours. That's coming up when we come back on WKYT this morning.
And we're staying dry this morning, but there is a little fog out and about. Got to be watching out for that. It's a mainly dry day, but the weekend, not so much. Exact opposite. I'm going to show you those storms in your forecast coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Well, we are looking pretty good out and about in terms of no rain falling out of the sky, but we do have some fog, and that's going to be an issue as you were traveling early this morning. From a lot of that rain yesterday, you get any breaks in the clouds, and that allows some of that fog to actually form there on the surface. So you look around town now. We don't have any fog advisories at this moment for most of our locations. We do in Frankfort, which is 10 miles, and then you go into other locations, which is 0 miles for many locations. Actually, virtually all of us there, 3 miles or less, and that's where we don't have any advisories. But where we do have an advisory, Frankfort, at 10 miles. Go figure, right? Just wait for that to kind of settle in, though. But look, once you're walking out the door, that's what you're going to be dealing with, which isn't all that bad. It's better than dealing with thunderstorms in the morning. We will have that chance later on this afternoon, but I will tell you this. It is a small chance, and the best opportunity for this today is going to be far southern zones. I'd say around the Cumberland Parkway, maybe just a little farther south than that. So if you are heading out and about, you're heading out to some of these events, the Brass Band Festival there in Danville. I would say Danville is more of your 30% chance of rain. You go off into Somerset and Pulaski County, more like a 40-50% chance of rain. So the farther south you go, better likelihood of actually seeing some rain for today. The 25-68 yard sale, I would say take off and enjoy. This is the day you'll want to knock all that out because the weekend, things are going to change. Watch this. Here's your severe threat. Again, another marginal threat just like yesterday. Yesterday being, you know, a couple of severe cells here and there. That's going to be the same story for tomorrow. But I really wouldn't worry about that. I would worry more about just thunderstorms in general. Because once these thunderstorms move over you, you got to remember the past couple of days, there have been some spots that have picked up 2 to 3 inches of rain in just a couple of hours. So these storms put down tremendous amounts of rain. You just got to watch out for some localized flooding. But remember, for that yard sale, most of this is going to be south. So the northern extent of 68, the northern extent of 25, US 25, it looks pretty good for today. So you'll be able to rack up some things as you travel out and about. Tomorrow off into your Sunday, the breakdown of this. Yeah, it just looks stormy, but remember, these are on and off. If you're heading out to the Russell County Fair, that's going to kick off Saturday. Remember, that takes you off in the next week, though. But Saturday and Sunday, yeah, they just don't look good for the opening weekend. 7-day forecast, here's your look. And we're at 80 today. It's actually a pretty decent day in store. It really is, as that front's moving through. But the southern half, watch out for a few rumbles. Saturday, Sunday, guys, like I said, on and off. You'll get a few breaks here and there, but you really need to plan around these storms because these storms, not only do they pack a punch, but I mean, like I was talking about, it's their heavy rain. I sat in some really heavy rain here in Lexington yesterday, and that wasn't even a severe cell. So you just got to watch out for that.
It's amazing how much can come at once.
At once, absolutely, very quickly.
All right, Micah, thank you. It's 5:15 on WKYT. It may not have been the best spot to have a little baby, but it apparently was the most convenient at the time.
Hey, whatever you got to do, right? A mama moose in Alaska drew a crowd when she gave birth to her baby in a Lowe's parking lot. That's right, many bystanders watched for hours, excited to see the newborn, and the mother and the newborn eventually began to wander off through the parking lot, stopping every now and then to get a rest. I gotta see this.
This is pretty interesting, isn't it? I guess that was quite the day at the Lowe's.
She's like, well, I'm going to go over there and deliver my baby.
There's some people. They seem interested. All right.
Oh, and an Old Navy.
Good deal.
It's a busy parking lot.
5:16 on WKYT this morning on your Friday, and it's great to have you along with us as your brand new day gets started over for that moose, brand new life, right? Little moose.
That was very good, though.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be back with a look at your money.
Mortgage rates are up again, and the best home buying cities for millennials. I'm Marley Hall, and I'll have those stories and more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Hey, welcome back. It's great to have you with us here on this Friday morning. We're looking at a weekend. Looks good, even if it's going to rain.
Well, a wet weekend, but that's okay.
That's right.
At least it's the weekend,
time off for you, hopefully. Well, mortgage rates are up again, and the best home buying cities for millennials.
Marley Hall has the latest on your money.
Mortgage rates went up for a third straight week. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac says the average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage rose to 3.66%. Despite the increase, the rate is still at a 3-year low. On Wall Street Thursday, the Dow gained 48 points. The Nasdaq added 19. Walmart is testing drones. The nation's largest retailer wants to compete against Amazon, which is testing drones for home delivery. Walmart's drones will be used to increase warehouse efficiency and could be rolled out in the next 6 to 9 months. The National Association of Realtors has a new list of the top cities for millennials who want to buy a home. The group looked at job growth and housing conditions. The city of Austin came out on top with the largest number of millennials living and moving there. That's your Money Watch. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Marley Hall.
The nation's top retailer is bringing back a famous happy icon after a 10-year hiatus and a lengthy legal battle.
Right, a classic yellow smiley face. It was used by Walmart from 1990 to 2006 to alert shoppers to rollbacks in prices. But the store became involved in a trademark war with the president of the Smiley Company based in Belgium. But yesterday, a Walmart spokesperson announced the Smile is back in business. Smiley is now a prominent presence on Walmart's Twitter page and the company website, and it'll start to appear in some stores again very soon, as well as their commercials, it sounds like. So the Smile is back at Walmart.
So the Smile has been gone for 10 years?
Did you realize that?
No, I really didn't, I guess.
But those
Time flies.
smileys are always around one way or the other, right? Hope you put a smile on your face today and make it a good one on this Friday. We have a lot more news coming up for you this morning.
Sports is next.
We talk basketball when we come back. Alex Poythress, he's been working out for NBA teams. You will hear from him. Nerlens Noel, someone out there says he could be on the trading block. And we go to Louisville for the Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame induction. That's on the way in sports.
No rain across the region. There is some good news. We do have a couple of fog advisories, but I do want to tell you this, that these areas with the fog advisories, just because you're not in that does not mean you're not going to see fog. There is fog all around the region. It's just, remember, we don't put out these advisories that come from the National Weather Service in Jackson and also back toward Louisville for most of our region. So that's not from us, but there is fog laying around for most of the locations as you're traveling early this morning. Temperatures are there in the 60s. It's a good feel. We get into your afternoon, and here's the breakdown of it. We will have a few showers, a few rumbles of thunder, but it's mainly going to be that Cumberland Parkway, Howard Rogers Parkway, and south, mainly, okay? That's the best chance. So it's really a small chance for most of us today. Most of us actually stay dry. It's not that bad, but we pick right back up on those storms there for the weekend. Let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Alex Poythress is busy working out for NBA teams, and yesterday he was in Philadelphia. Poythress said it went really well with the 76ers. He called it one of his best workouts so far. Poythress thought he had good energy from start to finish, attacked the rim, hit shots, and played good defense. At Kentucky, Poythress had the chance to compete with so many great players.
Oh, it's crazy, you get to play with the best, each and every day, each and every year, you got guys going to the next level. I'm just grateful to get my opportunity now, play with a lot of them, so, I'm just happy to be up there with them.
You remember any memories that stand out of a young Nerlens?
I remember a couple. Nah, but Nerlens is a great dude. He's one of my boys. I see him every time he comes down the Lex. I probably need to hit him up, see where he's at now, but, he's one of the best, really good dude.
Looked like Alex got popped in the grill. Speaking of Nerlens Noel, there was a report on Yahoo that Philadelphia and Atlanta have had talks about a Nerlens for Jeff Teague deal. Nothing is said to be imminent, but the Sixers have a logjam in the front court. Noel averaged 11 points, 8 rebounds a game last year. He also established himself as a good rim protector. Teague was an all-star, averaging almost 16 points per game, as well as 6 assists. Last night in Louisville, the 2016 Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame class was inducted, and the names are legendary to say the least. Current UK women's assistant basketball coach Kyra Elsie, Belfry football coach Philip Haywood, the winningest coach in history, basketball great Darryl Carrier, Mr. Football and NFL most valuable player Sean Alexander, just to name a few.
I mean, I'm just speechless, really. It really hit me this morning that I'm actually being inducted to the Hall of Fame. I'm just so honored to have the opportunity for this moment.
State's been good to me. Even from back in high school, they retired my jersey before I graduated. So those kind of things, like, it's so big that you can't even put it into words.
That is a look at sports. Have a great day.